Okay, to begin things, what I'd like to do is to explain how we actually construct the progressions. And to do that, I'd like to write out all of the notes and the chords of the key of C major. So we know that the C major scale has no sharps or flats, so the notes will be C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and C. Now, every major scale is built the same way. It has 3 majors, 3 minors, and a diminished chord. So now, if I say I want to play a 1-4-5 progression in the key of C, how do we do that? Well, we take the first note, is a C, is a 1. Then we count 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth note is the F, and the fifth note is a G. So that would be a 1-4-5 progression in the key of C major. 1, 4, 5. It's the first, the fourth, and the fifth. It's that simple. So when somebody says they want to play a progression of 1, 4, 5, you need to know what key we're playing in, and then you just need to know what chords are in that key, and then you just play the first, the fourth, the fifth. There's tons of songs that are written with just these 3 chords. So now let's go for another example here in the key of C major. What happens if we want to play a 1-6-4-5 progression in the key of C? Well, we play the first, then we go up here to the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And 4 and 5. So it'd be a C, A minor, F, and G. That would be a 1, a 6, a 4, and a 5 progression in the key of C major. It's that simple. 1, 6, 4, 5. Well, and then a lot of times you're going to see Roman numerals. If not, it'll just be a 1, 6, 4, 5 progression in the key of C major. Okay? It's that easy. Now, what happens if we're in the key of a minor key? And we're going to stick with the key of C major. Now, if you go to the 6th note of the major scale, it is always the relative minor of that particular major scale. And what you do is you start off by moving this to your number 1 note, this number 6 note here. So what we're going to do is go A minor, B diminished, C, D minor, E minor, F, G, and then repeats itself with A minor. Now notice that A minor is the first note, B diminished is the second, C, D, E, and so forth, but A minor is the first one now. So if you want to play a 1-4-5 progression in the key of A minor, it is going to be A minor, D minor, and E minor. So it's going to be a 1, which is a little 1. It's just a small upper under, the lowercase Roman numeral 1, and then it would be a 4 and a 5, a small v for a minor, D minor, and an E minor progression in the key of A minor. See that? So it would be a 1, 2, 3, this would be the 4th, and this would be the 5th. It's the same notes and chords in the key of C major, but you start with the minor. So that would be A minor. The relative minor for the key of C major, the relative minor is the A minor. Once again, if you look at this little handy chart here, and you go over here to the key of C major down here, and then go across, notice the gray one where it says A minor? Well, that's the relative minor. It's also called the Aeolian mode there. See that over here? Right down here. That's the A minor. That's the relative minor to the key of C major. These are all the relative minors for every major key. So if you go over to this one over here, and that's the G, and then go across, you'll notice that E minor is the relative minor. So once again, that's really handy. I'm just throwing this out really quick to give you some quick theory here. I'm going to go ahead and get back to this progression chart again. So the first progression that we have on this lesson is the C, F, and G. The second progression we have is the relative minor. And what I have there is the A minor, right? And then the F and G progression. What would that be? Let's go ahead and lay out the A minor again. B, C, D, E, F, G, and A, and start over again. Now A minor, F, and G is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 6, 7 progression in the key of A minor. That's the relative minor there for key of C major. So now if you look down to the third progression, it is a D, G, and an A progression. That's a 1, 4, 5 progression in the key of D major. And then the next progression is B minor, G, and A. That is the relative minor to D major. So then I move to different keys. So this is how we make the major scales once again. So all you have to do is, let's just go for example, let's write out the key of F major. We have F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. Now this is the, and then once again we have minor, minor, major, major, minor, and diminished. Now there's only one flat in the key of F. There's no sharps. Now if we play a 1, 4, 5 progression in the key of F, we're playing F, B flat, and C, and that's a really cool progression. It sounds a lot different, but all it is a 1, 4, 5 progression. Now D minor is the relative minor, so what we do is bring that D minor all the way over here and start with our D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, and D. See that? Now we can play a progression starting with our minors. This would be the diminished now, this would be the major, and this would be a minor, minor, major, major, and back to the minor again. So every major key is built the same way. So if we wanted to play a 1, 4, 5 progression in the key of F, it'd be 1, 4, 5. If we wanted to play a 1, 6, 4, 5, it would be the same as in the key of C major. So I suggest that you go ahead and get the chart out, lay out all of the, print it out so you know every major scale, and start writing these things out. Start writing them out. It's really, music is so simple once you understand how the major scale is constructed. Once again, let's go ahead and write out the key of C. And then get some paper and start doing this. There's no sharps or flats, so all it is in order. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Every major scale has a major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Every major scale. So go ahead and put those minors in there, and that little circle there is diminished. Every major scale is the same way. Let's go ahead and write out the key of G major real fast. So we know if we look at that chart over there, it's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Now F sharp, G only has one sharp in it, and F sharp is diminished, but we have minor, minor, major, major, minor, and diminished. If we wanted a 1, 4, 5 progression in G, it would be a G, C, D. That simple. If we wanted a 1, 6, 4, 5 progression, it would be G, E minor, C, and D. That simple. So go ahead and just print out that chart. I'm going to go ahead and write out, and now don't forget, once again, if we write out the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C, the sixth note is always the Aeolian mode. It's the relative minor to the key of C major. Same thing if we go to the G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp, and G major. E minor is the Aeolian mode, a relative minor to the key of G major. Let's go over the F, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F major. D minor is the Aeolian mode and relative minor to the key of F major. It's always the same. Let's go ahead and get this chart out real quick over here, and let's go ahead and look at the key of, I'm just going to pick another key. How about the key of D major? D major has an F sharp and a C sharp, so it's got two sharps, but the relative minor is B minor. So you would just go ahead, pick out any key you want, write out the notes of the key. Let's just go ahead and do this one more time, and I'll show you. It'd be really simple here, just so you can figure out some, once again, so you can figure out some progressions. Let's stick with the key of C major because C major does not have any sharps or flats. So let's go ahead and write out C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Now, every major scale has 3 majors and 3 minors, and the minors are always the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 6th. Diminished is always the 7th, okay? Every major scale is built the same way. We want a 1-4-5 progression. Take the 1, the 4, the 5. You want a 1-6-2-4 progression. So you take the 1, the 6, the 2, and the 4 progression. And you can just mix these up and match them up. Play fourths, play fifths, and thirds. And then you can change keys. You might want to go from C major to F major, and all you do is maybe just come off this F, and when you play this F, go to the B flat instead of diminished, and you're just changing keys. It's that easy, really. So go ahead and play all these progressions, and then write them out. Print out the chart that I put on there. I'll put on this the table chart that you can actually print out, and I suggest that you always have that chart with you. And then go ahead and write out get some blank forms, and just keep working on. I would suggest that you keep working on the key of C major. Write that one out, right? That would be a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. And then write out G major, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then G. And then write out the key of F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. And then study up on these 3 progressions, and then this is really cool. If you look at this, there's a 1-4-5 progression, and you're just laying out these 3 keys here. And then once you know these 3 keys here, you can just really start jamming out. So keep it simple. C major, 1-4-5 progression. Try to learn the 1-6-4-5 progression. Start mixing these up. Come up with your own progression. Then study, look on the web and see how many songs can you come up with that uses a certain progression, and how did they make that progression? What key? Try to figure out what key the song is. Why are they using those chords in that particular key? It's really simple. 1-4-5 progression, a 1-6-4-5 progression. Then you can turn these chords into power chords and mix all of the keys, because you're playing. Because say a power chord, let me just explain that real quick, how simple that could be. Let's just say you have the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. And somebody's really jamming out in this A minor, F and G, right? Well, they might not be playing the complete A, C, and E notes of the A minor chord. They might be just playing the 1st and the 5th, which means that you can jam out using the major scale and the minor scale. That's why when you play power chords, you're not playing the complete chord. You're only playing maybe the 1st and the 5th of that chord, eliminating the 3rd, and the 3rd determines whether it's a major or minor chord. So if you're playing just a A minor chord, they're calling it, or A5, power chord, you're not playing the C chord, which means that you can play major or minor on that. You can switch different chords. So power chords are not really a chord. A particular chord, like a triad, uses 3 notes. A power chord only uses 2 notes. So you can really jam because you're not using the 3rd, and the 3rd of the A minor, the notes that make up the A minor are A, C, and the E, right? But if you're not playing the 3rd, it can be either a major or minor, because A major is A, C sharp, and E, right? So if you're not playing that C sharp and you're not playing that C, you can jam out a number of different scales over that particular power chord. Listen to Scorpions, or Jethro Tull, or Pink Floyd, or Zeppelin. All these guys, and Van Halen, they'll know how to play a power chord rhythm. They may be just jamming out some simple chords. Then they can play all these particular different scales on top of those chords, because they're not even complete chords. They're just like maybe a power chord. So anyway, go ahead and study up on that. Go ahead, write out that, once again, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Start getting some paper, writing those out, and taking the 1st, 4th, 5th, 1, 6, 2, 3, and start coming up with your own progressions. It's that simple. All right, good luck.